Well, hello and welcome to Senior Info. We had a little scheduling change for a couple of weeks, but we're back to normal. And we have one more show before September.
Exactly. You know I'm flexible, Harry.
Yeah. Well, we
Whatever you
may,
need to do.
sometimes you don't know, we may end up doing one in June if people call and want to come on and we still have to fill some slots. So we'll take it as it goes.
Sounds good to me.
But,
And maybe I'll ask you to come on to channel 194 with me.
yes, yes.
We could do that.
Yeah.
That would be kind of fun. Since
Yeah.
we're about to launch that station.
Yeah, you're coming up with some programming now. That's
Yes.
something we could talk about.
Yes.
That is it's the senior school /school channel.
We will share it with the school. We will not take all of their time. Actually, we're only looking at a block of time from 9 to 11.
Yeah.
And just to start off,
Well, you're doing some bulletins on it.
we're doing the bulletins.
Yeah.
And we do have some programs that have been uploaded, so we'll be sharing those. And anything that's senior related that we've already done, we can certainly run those again.
Oh, absolutely,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, but we did some great training, and that was wonderful, thanks to Bill here. And so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you
But
trained with the actual supplier of our equipment,
yes,
Tightrope
cable.
Company.
Is it Cablecast?
Well, Tightrope Cable Cast.
Okay, yes. Great guy, Bob Smith.
Yeah.
He was very patient with Michelle and I, and we just did 3 sessions with him, but it was great. We did it via Zoom,
Yeah.
and he was able to show us the screen while we're on with him.
Yeah.
And so we'll just start playing around with it, and we know that we have Bill and Aaron here, so we'll be
What's
okay.
amazing is how you can train today with Zoom. I mean, no one has to come out and physically
You
be
don't have to
there.
go anywhere.
He's out in, I think it's Wisconsin or something. And here you are learning everything firsthand,
Exactly.
and he's really good at it.
He was excellent.
Yeah.
And he's always going to be a resource, too.
Yeah, you can all go
But-
back to him and,
But your folks here are
Yeah,
a wealth
we
of
got
knowledge.
great resources here, yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. We don't have to go far at all.
no. But it's quite a thing to do a TV show. You
It
found
is.
that? Yeah.
There's a lot to it, but I'm very excited to learn. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something that I never thought I would ever be involved with, and it's actually pretty neat. And Michelle's enjoying it too.
And maybe once you get your senior center open, which may be soon,
And maybe soon.
you might have some of your people start doing a show, right?
Exactly, which would be fabulous. I'm thinking about. I mean, the sky's the limit, really. I mean, all the things that we could do, interviewing some of these folks, and
Yeah. You know, it's a good idea to interview them while they're still here,
exactly.
because there's so much history out there.
Hmm.
I mean, we did that. We got a show that Sharon Abagomian did with with 3 World War II veterans who are no longer with us.
Right.
And Jerry Bagdasarian and Ross Bajada, 2 of them. I can't remember the 3rd person. But I mean, they really gave an insight as to what it was like for them.
Right.
And they're gone now.
Exactly. But you do have that, bit of history from them, and that's wonderful.
Right. So, and some of that history that verbal history like that is the best.
Absolutely. Because they were firsthand. They know.
Yeah. And you get the impression that they got, the way they felt.
Exactly. They lived through
You
it.
can't get that out of a book.
Mm-mm. Not at all.
In fact, I'm reading a book about the Civil War right now, and it's all, the author put together letters and reports that were done by the people that were doing the exercise.
Oh, wow.
A lot of it was guerrilla warfare done by the South.
Mm-hmm.
And the actual person who was in charge wrote this report for his senior people.
Wow.
And so you get it firsthand.
Exactly.
And it's really interesting.
Interesting, I bet. Yeah.
See, so I mean that is really good, and it would be even better if I could hear him say it. But,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
so like I say, you get it on tape, and there's a lot to be gotten.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm getting into that bracket where I'm one of those people. But they got plenty with me.
Oh, yes. There's plenty to
Yeah, I
choose
got 30
from.
years of
I was
stuff.
gonna say there's film and film and film and yes, so it's good.
It's, yeah, well, we're saying that it's a possibility of opening sometime in May, right?
We're shooting for mid-May.
Yeah,
I think by then we'll be comfortable to, open up.
it might be on a limited basis.
Absolutely.
Limited I mean by the amount of people.
The amount of people that we can have in the building at one time, the type of activities that we will offer. We also have that beautiful patio
Yes.
that will be utilized.
Yeah, and you'll be outside, so that that's one of the things they said, it's not a problem if you're outside.
Exactly. So we just had that area cleaned up. We had the landscaper that put the patio in. He came back the beginning of this week, and he did some cleanup and some mulch, and we have another table coming, so we'll have 2 tables out there with umbrellas, and we'll start doing some planning for some outdoor things. I do have a couple of groups that will be coming inside. And if they're watching tonight, my pool players, because we have that beautiful pool room,
Yeah,
2 beautiful tables. And I have just a little handful of guys that still come down to the center to use that. And they're begging me to come and play. So, they'll be able to schedule a slot of time to go upstairs, and that's perfect. A couple of other programs that I'm feeling will be safe enough to offer. I have a painting class that is, they're a small group, so I can easily distance them in a safe way. We also had a photography class that was very well received, and he actually, the instructor, would like to go out at different places
field trip.
to do photography. So that's, even broadening that whole program a little bit. So we do have we did a grab and go lunch drive-through. We had, we invited 50 people because we just wanted to try it out, just to see how it would go. And the Friends of Northbridge Elders, our fundraising group, they sponsored it. So we purchased 50 cheese pizzas from Harry's.
Oh.
They gave us a great discount. Thank you, Harry's. And we gave out that with a little, and it was St. Patrick's Day. So we did a cookie and chips and soda and a little bag. And we had slots of time where people drove through. So like I said, we had 50 people that drove through, and it was phenomenal.
That's great, but you know what? You need to have to sit down because the interaction.
That's what it is. But that's a start.
That's right, that's a
we're
start.
We're at least seeing, some of the people that we were seeing on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And then we hadn't seen them, some of them I hadn't seen in a year.
Wow.
So we saw some tears and a lot of smiles.
I really think we gotta fight this by getting back to more normalcy.
Right.
And that's the way to handle it.
And we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine most of the elderly in Northbridge now have gotten the vaccination.
It's close. We're getting there. My staff and I are personally still making appointments for people. So thankfully for the regional clinic that's in Uxbridge.
Right. Uxbridge and actually Upton as well.
Yes. So on Saturdays, the clinic moves over to Nipmuc and Upton.
Yes.
Monday through Thursday, it's in Uxbridge at the McCluskey School. But that's been it's been a lifesaver for many of our folks that didn't want to travel to
The Foxborough.
Gillette or Boston or out the western part of the state. So it has been wonderful. Our Board of Health, Jean Ganatic, has been phenomenal. She has given us the inside scoop, including days where we are allowed to have I call it a private, sort of like a private invitation to schedule appointments.
Yeah.
And these are for the folks that do not have, their own computers or the
Well, traveling, it's just occupied, but you still gotta get there.
you still have to get there. So my bus is also transporting people over there.
Yeah,
Today we took 2 folks. Next week I know we have a couple of days that we'll be going over there. My staff has signed up to volunteer over there. I'll be doing a couple of shifts over there. So, and our town manager, Adam Gaudette, has asked and strongly encouraged all department heads to do some volunteer time over at
Oh.
that clinic. So it is definitely a community effort.
yeah,
And I feel like the other towns are probably doing just as much to contribute, just to make sure it's a success. People that have gone over there are so impressed with the way that it's running. So far so good.
yeah. I got an invitation by email from,
Probably from your
Brigham and
physician.
Women's,
Yeah.
but they said, you go to Somerville. Well, I'm not gonna drive to Somerville.
But I will tell you one thing. I did have somebody that drove to Somerville. He
And they
received the J&J, Johnson & Johnson. So he's done.
Oh,
He lucked out.
so that was the Johnson & Johnson. Oh, okay. There was a problem with that vaccine. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah, there was a whole allotment that was,
It was contaminated
Contamin-
with
yeah.
some kind of a bio.
oh dear.
And,
that was
but
a
they,
waste of-
supposedly they caught it.
Oh, in time.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
didn't go out.
Oh, before it went out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before
But
it
it's
went out.
still, it's destroyed, like,
Oh, then you
thousands
still
of-
gonna wonder, did they get it all?
I hope so.
I know.
I know. Yeah,
They claim they did. I mean, but we've had claims in the past too.
exactly. Yeah.
But I would prefer to Johnson & Johnson because I haven't got it yet. And, cause I'm just apprehensive. I don't get a flu shot. I haven't
Right.
had the flu in 10 years. That's the last
Right.
time I got the flu shot was when I got the
Right,
flu.
right.
So I'm apprehensive about it.
Yeah, a lot of people still are. Yeah.
And, and I understand people that do get it, they are having some side effects.
Mm-hmm.
Some aren't bad, some a little worse,
Right.
some are feeling very lightheaded after.
Yeah.
And if you're driving, is that a good thing?
Right. Yeah.
So, I have some apprehension about it, but with the Johnson, at least it's one shot. You go and
That's
you don't have
it.
to go back.
Exactly.
And that's the other thing too, when you gotta go back, now you gotta make sure you'll schedule another one.
Right. Well, what's great about most of the clinics is that they'll schedule that before you even leave from your first.
So they give you a date when you will come back.
Exactly. You take the little card with you, and so I don't know what the numbers are for Northbridge. There is a way to look at that, and I just found it on the MassGov website. It's broken down by
By town.
town.
Yeah,
So the last time it was updated was the end of March, which was just yesterday. But
yeah,
but I think it was like the 25th or something. So I'll look at it again just to kind of see where our numbers are.
you don't have a percentage, it's just,
No, and the last time I did look at it, like I said, it was, I think it was March something. It's 75 plus. It looked like it was 7%.
that's not many.
So
We have
I'm thinking
we have
we have a
probably
ways
one of
to
the
go.
highest elderly populations in the valley in Northbridge.
Of course we do.
Yeah, we do, we have a
And
larger,
and it's gonna
larger than
grow.
most of the towns,
It's gonna grow.
yeah. So 7% is not,
No,
and I know, they just opened it up to, I think, 55?
is that happening Monday?
Yeah, something like that.
I think so.
So, I mean, you had to be over 55 or have a certain ailment.
Mhm.
And now they opened it up to type 1 diabetes,
Mhm.
which I don't understand why they didn't do that in the
I was
beginning.
gonna say that should have been right along.
Yeah, because, I mean, type 1, type 2, they're similar.
Right.
I mean, they're both, you're not producing insulin.
No, exactly.
So what's the difference?
I know. yeah, I agree.
Except for the fact that type 2 people are older.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, things are moving along, that's good. I
They
mean,
are, yeah,
but
yeah,
I don't like the fact that they're gonna make you, if you don't have your card, you're not gonna get into places. I mean, that's not right either.
yeah, I think that's something that still needs to be worked on.
Yeah,
Because that's the
'cause-
same thing with the center. And I just asked that question of the Mass Council on Aging. We're not going to be, we can't be mandated to ask people if they've been vaccinated or to
Right.
show us anything. How are we going to work that out? I mean, there's a lot of liability, legal stuff with that. So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I don't like mandates of any kind.
no,
People make up their own mind.
absolutely.
And, you know, the thing is, if someone didn't get vaccinated, let them handle it. They might want to keep wearing a mask.
You're right.
They might want to just stay away from crowds.
Yeah.
I mean, they can people can handle it themselves. But then you also had the herd immunity.
Right.
So, I mean, I haven't. They told me I had it back in December. I told you about
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I wasn't that sick,
Right.
but they said I tested positive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I am immune now.
It could, yes.
Maybe my body could handle it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, do I need to get? You know, I heard that some people that ended up had the placid, what do you call it, placid.
Oh.
They had
placid,
it, and they
yeah.
had the floating around in their blood system
Oh,
from
the antibodies. Yeah.
the antibodies,
Yeah.
and it turned out they went and got the vaccine,
Yeah.
and it made it worse.
And made them
Made
sick.
them sick.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, these are things that we have to really consider.
Exactly. Yeah. But I don't know for travel, will that have to be, will that
Yeah.
be?
I mean, there was
part
talk of
of-
some states having toll booths where you have to show your card to
Oh.
get it. I mean, it's all talk like this going
Right,
around. It's
yeah.
just,
It'll be interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, it really hurting the economy.
Definitely.
It's coming back, but it's awful
Slowly.
tough.
Yeah. And some businesses, unfortunately, did not survive.
Yeah.
And which is unfortunate, but
And look what happened with, we had a football game and no one could go. We
that's
lim-
opening up though.
Yeah, I know, they're gonna make
Did you hear?
maybe
Yeah.
a few more, but
Yeah. So
I-
I can, my son plays JV.
were
So
you able to go?
yeah, I've been able to go because I had, yes, they gave the parents each a
Yeah.
pass. But now I can bring, my husband and I can each bring somebody.
Oh, okay, so the parents could go, but the grandparents couldn't go.
No, exactly.
Yeah, and we got Little League starting up. I don't know how they're gonna handle that here.
Have they
because
started or are they,
This weekend, I
they're
think.
getting ready to?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they get a big crowd.
They do. That parking lot is usually full.
Yeah, so I don't know how they're gonna handle that.
I don't know. They
And
must
then,
stagger.
of course, we got graduations coming.
I know. I'm wondering how they're going to handle proms,
Yeah, proms, I mean,
graduation.
and these are all important things to these
They
kids.
are.
Come on, I mean,
But the kids are going back to school full time. So the little ones are going back starting Monday.
yes.
And then the following week, the 5th grade through high school will be returning. So maybe they will be offering
Well,
prom.
and the kids I don't hear of any kids getting it, really.
I heard of a few.
Here and there, but not.
Right. Not in large
not
amounts.
not epidemic portions.
Right.
So I think their immune systems are much stronger, and
Yeah.
you
It
know,
doesn't seem to affect that population as much
Right.
as.
So I mean, let them have their, especially the seniors, let them have their
Oh, I
final
know.
year in high school.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know, like I say, last year they lost out on the
They
prom.
lost everything.
Lost everything. And those kids are gone now.
Mhm.
You can't bring that back.
No. No. So at least if they can give these kids a little something,
Yeah.
and then hopefully by the new school year, we'll be back to
Yeah.
a little bit more normalcy.
Well, I mean, the new September is a scheduled date for the new
Mm,
elementary school.
yeah.
It might be a damn shame the kids can't get in there and
Wouldn't
enjoy
it?
that new place,
Absolutely.
especially the ones who are going to be going on to the middle school.
Right.
They won't have a chance at all.
No. No.
So, I mean, come on, let's get with it here.
Exactly. But in a way, great timing, because it's a bigger school, so there's
Yeah.
more space
And it's ventilated.
and ventilated
Yes, it's got,
and up to date.
Yeah.
And so, parents will have a lot of peace of mind sending their kids, next September. So
I mean, yeah, that building you don't have to worry. That building's
No.
gonna be,
it'll be in
it'll
good
be a
shape
safe
for a
building.
while. Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's done right. We've been improved over what they did with the high school.
Right. Oh, definitely. I know that high school is over 20 years old now. Right?
Isn't that,
Isn't that amazing?
it
Yeah.
seems like yesterday we're talking about it,
Right.
and here it is, over 20 years old.
Yes. Yeah.
So where'd the time go?
I know. And then we'll be looking at a new fire station being
Yeah.
built. So that will be something exciting to start hearing about and watching. And
That's moving on slow. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot to do. They're
course.
working on the final plans,
Mhm.
but it is moving forward.
Yes. Yeah.
And are we looking at a new senior center?
I
You'd
don't
like-
know.
You'd like to, right?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I don't know if that will be in my under my leadership, but maybe before I leave, we could have
As
something in the
the senior
works.
population grows,
Exactly.
I mean, you're really utilizing the whole building now, right?
Oh, every square foot I use.
And that's a good sized building.
It is. It's a huge building,
Yeah.
especially compared to neighboring towns.
Right.
Some senior centers just have one room. I feel very fortunate I have a whole building.
Yeah. Yeah, and you wouldn't have, if you did build another one, that building could be utilized for something else.
Definitely. It could be converted into housing. I mean, it's in great shape.
Well, one thing we don't have is a youth center.
Well, Rockdale, but I
Yeah, but
see what
that-
you're saying. It could be for that
Yeah,
section
for
of town.
the older youth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, in
More
Rockdale, I
teens
think
and-
when they go up to
I'm not sure what the age
8th grade, I
is.
think, or something.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So nothing for high school? Or...
No, for teenage kids.
Right. Yeah.
So, well, the teenagers are when they're in the 8th, but,
Yeah,
it's
older
teens.
teens. Yeah. Yeah, that's a
There
good
was talk
point.
about it at one time, but it never materialized. I think Uxbridge does it.
Oh, do they?
I'm
Okay.
not sure, they did, I know they were doing it at one time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're right. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to offer to teens.
Yeah. I mean, and with the sports programs canceled, that even
Right.
is very little going on.
Exactly.
So, but here again, you have kids that aren't into sports that you need to offer something else.
Something else, right? An alternative.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, we had dances all the time.
I know. Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
those days are gone.
Yeah. Yeah. We were before the pandemic. My staff and I were talking about doing some sort of a gala, and we would love to use that great hall
Yes.
because I guess that's where all the dances took place years and years ago.
Even before my time.
I was going to say way before your
Yeah.
time, Harry.
But there was a common place for dances. They actually had
Yeah.
town meetings there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what it was designed for.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. But that going way back before I think it was 1955 that they built the addition onto the high school.
Okay.
And that was the initial addition. Now they did another one in the 80s.
Right.
And it's got even bigger. But
Yeah.
there was a part where the front door is, where you go in for town meeting. That was actually an addition in 55.
I was going to say because it does appear newer
Yeah.
than the
Yeah,
other
and they-
older part.
And where the media room we go into is actually a gym.
Oh, okay.
And that was built as a gym.
Right.
So, I mean, and prior to that, that's when they used to have town meetings in there too, but they had, it was a gym floor.
Okay.
But prior to that was a town hall.
Is that town hall? That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you had to have a big room.
Right.
And that would be great to do something like that again.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's
And-
something
and-
we'd like to work on. At
And,
some
and
point.
the music would be 50s and 60s.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is right up my.
Yeah. So that's something that we'd like to, think about planning at some point.
That
But we-
would be good. And it really would be interesting. I know the community center,
They did. They hosted.
they host things there, yeah.
Yeah. It's
They-
their
they had
annual
the,
event.
Roaring Twenties thing.
Yes. Yeah. Which is really neat.
And I guess I didn't make it there, but Dennis built the door.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and you had to knock on it to get in.
Oh.
Like, they did it in speakeasies.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. And we lost those people. My uncle grew up at that time
Mm-hmm.
at Postman. He told me about how it was,
Mm-hmm.
how they would do that. They had the speakeasies, and
Right.
it was prohibition. You couldn't buy alcohol
No.
anywhere,
Right.
or you could. You could buy it if you had a prescription.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
I didn't.
Yeah.
No.
In fact, I have some bottles, 4 roses, and it says prescription on them.
Oh, wow.
So I know they were, and I found them underneath the farmhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably belonged to my grandfather, because
Yeah.
he'd like to. Yeah, but if you remember, that's where drugstores got their license to sell alcohol.
Oh.
And I remember growing up, that's how Lynch got into it.
Oh, well, that's right. That's that connection right there.
Yeah.
I never even thought
Initially,
of that.
it was a drugstore,
a
but they sold
drugstore.
alcohol.
Right, and then converted into.
Yeah, then finally, CVS was putting all the drugstores out
Yeah.
of business. So, in fact, you don't see any neighborhood drugstores anymore.
No,
No, it's all the
it's
big,
all the big chains.
the
Yeah.
big chains. But anyway, yeah, they had the license to sell it because the government knew when you went into prohibition were people that would need it.
Right,
So if you went to your doctor and he signed the prescription for
Mhm.
you because you were addicted to alcohol,
exactly.
you could go down and get the alcohol at the drugstore.
Right, because you needed it before
Yeah,
you went into.
so
your
there was
wit-
still some distillers that were putting it out.
Wow. Yeah.
And that lasted for 10 years,
Wow.
all through the 20s.
All through
Yeah,
the
it wasn't
20s.
until
Yeah.
Roosevelt became president
Right.
that they amended it.
That's something.
And, it's still in the Constitution because you can't take it out. You can amend it, you can't
Can't
remove it.
it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's neat.
But, I always thought about that. And then when I found those bottles, I did some research on it. I said, that's what that was. And,
It's a neat find.
that's why I say, you lose these people, they could tell you these little little tidbits that nobody thinks about.
Right.
And that's why I'd like to be able to even record, come here and sit down with some of your people maybe.
Definitely.
We ought to do a show with them
We
on
would. We should.
senior info.
Yeah.
And
We'll
talk
bring
to them
them.
about the old days.
When we're feeling like we could bring somebody on, absolutely. That would be
You know,
wonderful.
a lot of the younger people in town would like to hear that.
Of course.
I mean, I talk about the fact, they used to have the tennis court dances at the community center.
Oh, really?
Oh, you didn't
See,
know
I
about
didn't know that. No, I didn't
Yeah,
know
you know where the
that.
tennis courts are?
Yes.
Yeah, they had dances there.
Wow.
I think it was on Friday nights.
Okay.
And over here at St. Peter's,
Yes.
they had dances on Friday night. In the
In their hall that they have?
no,
Or-
in the hall wasn't there at the time.
Oh, okay.
It was in front where the pavement is in front of the school. That yard was always paved,
Oh,
the
okay.
schoolyard.
All right.
And I think I'm trying to remember. I think it was Clarenceville Flash
Yes.
was the guy who he DJ'd it.
Did he really?
Yep.
So I'm good friends with his granddaughter. I'll have to ask her about that.
And I don't know if she knows because that was before
Maybe.
she was
well,
born.
she probably would because she's.
That was well before she was born.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah. But he probably talked about it.
Yeah, he
with
might
her.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty good at picking out the music too.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
In fact, the last song he played was "Wonderland by Night."
Wow, Harry, you're good.
Well, I used to go to them.
You're much to remember that from way back.
Well, I'm into
That's-
music. I'm
Yeah.
into music
Yeah.
big time.
That's awesome.
And I played it on my radio show, and I on my show on here, and I mentioned the fact that this was
Yeah.
the last song he played.
Oh.
At the high school, we had high school dances on Friday night
Yes.
during the winter. This was in the summertime
Oh, okay.
over here,
Right.
because it was outdoors.
Did you find that each like part of town did their own thing, or
Not really.
so? Okay.
I mean,
I didn't know if Rockdale did their thing.
No,
and then,
not really.
No, okay,
no,
so
but in the
anybody-
summertime, the CYC, it was, that was the dance was for, was the CYC.
Right.
In the winter, it was at the high school. I used to have to hitchhike
Oh.
from Rockdale to get to it. Because my father worked nights, my mother didn't drive.
Oh, okay. You had to find a way.
Yeah, and I wouldn't recommend it today, but back then it was.
But you probably were picked up by someone you knew.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's just you knew
And
everybody, right?
the
Yeah.
last song they always played there was Skeeter Davis and The End of the World.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I still remember that one too. So we had
That's
some great
great.
times.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember a Halloween dance, and I went as a cowboy, boots and all.
Oh yeah.
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 You remember good things like that.
Absolutely. Great memories.
Yeah.
Sure.
And those are
definitely.
things that we need to talk about
Right.
for people to remember. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a lot more activity. I mean, downtown Rockdale was bustling.
Well, that's what it sounds like. We've lost a lot of that community neighborhood.
Yeah,
It's everybody is so busy doing,
well,
other things.
things moved out of downtowns.
Yeah.
I mean, Winesville's come back somewhat.
Yeah.
But it-
Definitely.
You know, we had 3 diners in Rockdale.
Mm.
3 restaurants, you might say. We had a convenience store, a drugstore,
Right.
Beauty Power, Aubuchon Hardware. I mean, there was a lot of businesses, Heaney's Gas, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, Leroy's. So, I mean, I
Right.
remember walking around in Rockdale as you know, at night, and
Yeah.
people were
I bet-
busy.
Right.
Now, the bicentennial, that really was phenomenal.
I bet it was.
1972, we had a parade that went from Whitensville to Rockdale.
Wow.
Yeah, it started out at LaSalle,
Mhm.
and tons of floats, tons and tons, and
Yeah.
tons of bands. And it went all the way down Church Street, down 122, and it ended at the Rockdale Playground.
Wow.
And then at night, they shut off Providence Road from Leroy's down to where Cumberland's is.
Mhm.
And it was a big block
Oh,
dance.
block. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, it was a heck of a celebration.
So
Now-
wouldn't it be neat to kind
Well,
of
I
bring
told
that?
I told Russ to get on the town, Adam, we should have a 250.
For what? And what year will that be?
Well, in
22.
22,
Okay.
which is next year.
Which is not too far away.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
because we had one back in 92, I think it was. Marty Green put it together. He was on a board of selectmen.
Yeah.
We had a 225,
Okay.
but it wasn't that big. But this we could do a little more.
Definitely.
And
Yeah, you'd have to start planning now.
yeah, because it's a lot to put together.
Yeah.
It's hard to, here again, we had the drum corps,
You're right, the Valiers.
Valiers.
Yeah.
Prior to that was the Challengers.
Oh, I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah, that was back in the 50s.
Okay.
They were very good too.
Wow.
And prior to that was the Paul Whiten Mill. Had a band.
Had their own.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, I don't think you see kids into it like they were. I mean, those kids that were in the Valiers, they put a lot of time into that.
They were like a family.
Yeah.
Really.
And,
The stories
they
I
were
hear.
really good, but that's because they practiced.
They practiced all the time.
Yeah,
And their
Put a lot of
families
work
all
into it.
spent time together. And,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, a lot of them married one another. for crying out loud.
And that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to see that again, but you don't even see drum corps like that anymore.
No, not at all.
So, I mean, how do you put that together? Where do you get all the units
I know.
to put together something?
Right.
I know Mendon just had a big celebration for, I think that was their 300.
Okay. Yeah, it would be a big undertaking, but it would be wonderful to do something.
Would be great. And it
Yeah.
brings, community camaraderie.
Exactly.
I mean, so you got, some community, Shrewsbury puts on something every year, and Holden does.
Right.
I mean, it'd be nice, and it'd be great for business. I mean, I like to see the sidewalk sale come back.
Yes. Well, I think that is their hope. Is obviously they had to put it on hold
Right,
during the
because it was really
pandemic.
building well, it's doing really good. Every year got better. I think they did it for 2 years,
Yes.
and each year got better.
Yeah. So I don't think that is going to go away. I think the businesses that were involved with that are still very much wanting to keep that.
And what about 4th of July? I mean, the fire department gonna be able to, that's up in the air.
Yeah. I would think they would be able to do something this year. I'm hoping. I don't know. I haven't heard really.
I know Jeannie is going forward.
Yeah, I
with-
just
with-
saw
with
that.
the expo,
Mm.
but she's cautious about that too. She says, I don't know what's going to happen.
At the very last minute,
Right.
things could change, and
I mean, you gotta make the plans
right,
because you gotta and hope that you can carry it out.
exactly.
But what are you gonna do? I mean, she's going for July,
Right.
so we're outdoors.
Oh, is she going to use the high school?
Yeah, you're gonna use the high school,
Yeah.
but use inside and out.
That's good, so she can
So you
spread
can
out.
spread out a little more.
Mhm.
And you can have also different activities because you're outside now.
Right.
So hopefully that'll work out.
I hope so. That would be great. That's
'Cause
another.
that's a great community
community.
event.
It is. It
I mean,
definitely is.
And
Yeah.
you need that community
The only
stuff.
community event we really have right now is when we go to town meetings,
Yeah.
and and they're so
And the crowd's getting smaller.
smaller
all
and
the-
smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when it was 100, and then we said, oh, we gotta bring it down to 50.
know,
In
to-
fact, I remember
to
when
have
it
a
was
quorum.
over, it was 200.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and we
Oh,
had no
wow.
problem with that.
Right.
But it kept, one time, Sharon Christian and I were gonna play it live.
Mhm.
We set up and everything, and because we set up all the cameras, no one came.
Oh.
I said, we're not gonna do that anymore,
No.
because people are gonna stay home.
Right.
I mean, you need
There's
to,
no incentive to go.
Yeah.
Because you have it
yeah, but the
Bill.
incentive is you can vote,
right.
and that's another thing, that's coming up too, that's very
I was
shortly.
gonna say that's coming up.
Yeah, in about another 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But, they say, well, everything just goes through. Well, not necessarily, and you can get in there and question it. I know there's not a lot of questions on the budget, and that's because the Finance Committee does do a great
They
job.
do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
They really do.
They put a lot of time in.
Yeah.
You have to go before them for your budget.
Actually, I which is nice. I really don't have to, because I'm a smaller department and my things don't change so much, and I don't ask for so much.
Oh.
It's usually the bigger departments that
Yeah.
go before them, but I know that they're fair with them. And
Yeah. But, I mean, they go into detail, and they want to know why you want to do this. And
Absolutely.
and is
Yeah.
there another way around it?
Well, they're responsible to
Yeah.
the town people.
And I gotta say, Northbridge does have the lowest tax rate in the valley, and that includes with the fire station and the new school.
Yes, we're still one of the lowest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are the lowest.
I mean, we are, not
Yeah.
still, but we are.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
They've maintained pretty good maintenance.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's a tough thing, but, I mean, there's other questions at the town meeting too, other than just the,
Oh, definitely. And I think people, especially for people that are new to town, I would encourage them to go to the meeting because you
Yes.
learn so much.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
learn who your town leaders are, too.
Right.
I mean, being a department head, I was, under Ted Kozak. He always mandated that we be there. But I'm so grateful that he did
Yeah.
that. And Adam encourages us to be there as well. And I will continue as long as I'm a department head to make sure
well,
I'm there.
especially on the budget, all the department heads should be there. Simply if there's a question,
Right,
you can answer it.
yeah. Oh,
Oh,
we
here
have
we
a
go.
call.
Go ahead, you're on the air.
How we doing?
Ah,
All right, Amy.
I was gonna say, there's the laugh.
I'm not, I'll stop, Abe.
No problem. If you're laughing, you're happy. You can laugh at me or laugh with me as long as you laugh.
I never laugh
Uh,
at you, Abe.
Harry, let me start with you. You were talking about the shot and what kind of reaction you might get from it. And I know we're in an unknown area,
Right.
but I'm not saying coming down with this or that or having to be rushed in an ambulance to the hospital, but aren't some of those signs, like if you're on a slight fever or muscle ache or things like that, isn't that part of you building up or that person building up some immunity? Doesn't that come under that category?
I believe that, yeah, if you had a touch of it, you might have some immunity, because some people have gotten it and not been that sick,
Yeah.
where others have gotten it and been extremely ill, in fact, have died.
Well, that was my understanding, and then again, I could call Dr. Fauci, but he's wrong more than he's right, and so we won't go down that road. But I wanted to see if you had the same thoughts that I did in regards to an understanding that not cast in stone, but that you build up a form of an immunity by having those reactions. And the people that I've heard have only had a couple of days, almost flu-like,
Yeah.
and tired, whatever you want to call it, and they were fine.
Yeah.
I have not heard of like a major reaction, in this area that I'm aware of. So, but once again, we all know everybody's got to make their own decision, and I guess it's the one you fear the least, if you want to call it. So you go from there.
Well, that's what the doctor said to me. It's up to you what you want to do.
Well, I asked the doctor, and ours is the same one, and he said I got mine, my wife got theirs, and
Yeah.
he said I highly recommend it. And we had discussed that on one of your other 25 shows, and he said the same thing to me. But you got to make up your own mind, and
Right. He highly recommended, but you make up your own. It's your decision.
yeah, he wasn't trying to sway me one way or the other, just trying to fill me in on facts.
Right.
And go from there. Now, let me turn to Kelly. Kelly, I saw you and your sister in arms the other night, your program. Excellent program.
Thank you.
Excellent program.
Do you think we're having a good time?
Yeah. I think you guys need to loosen up a little bit, You probably need to have Dean Martin come down from heaven and bring some alcohol, and that might help. But,
Oh dear, that could be a totally different show.
oh yeah. Well, as you were saying, he's got to be banned from Women of Worth, but if you got Bill on there, then again, you should probably be off cable, so...
No, so we have some. We were thinking maybe some plans for Bill, since we were just talking about how the senior center is going to have some airtime on channel 194. So I think it would be in our best interest to make sure that we feature Bill Robidoux on that channel.
Yeah, he's a good man. And the other thing I wanted to mention, and you guys were talking about it the other night, and you had mentioned it on a program, programs ago, about the kitchen, about
Right.
remodeling the kitchen and all that, and maybe you could just, for a couple of minutes or something, just delve into that, and maybe more people be aware of what it is you're trying to do.
Yes, so we have.
All right, and I'm going to let you go and have a good night, both of you.
Okay.
Thanks,
Okay.
Abe.
Take care.
You too.
Goodbye. Okay.
So yes, we are in the process of renovating the kitchen. Right now, it's down to the bare bones.
Whoa.
And so yes, we demoed everything, and we are just waiting on cabinets to be delivered. We'll do the flooring. This weekend, as he calls her, my sister in arms, she and I are going to pick out countertop, and so we're piecing it all together and hope to have it done by maybe early summer. I
Oh.
hope.
I was gonna say, we got another phone call?
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you would have it done before, May, we'd go in and probably tape it and show people on the air.
I don't know. That's not going to be
No.
done by then.
No.
But we will still, at some point, we will have you take a picture and we can
Yeah,
put it behind us.
yeah,
So, because, there's going to be some people that aren't going to come running down to the senior center right away. I mean,
Right.
we know some people aren't going to be comfortable to be in groups.
yeah, I mean,
Just yet.
a lot of people are still nervous about even going out.
Yeah. I do have to say, though, during this whole process of scheduling people for appointments, I'm getting to know people that I never even talked to before. And once they get their vaccination, they call us back, they thank us, and then they say, we can't wait for you to open because we're going to come down and see you. So I know there's going to be a whole new circle of folks that are going to be coming around. So it's
Oh, that's good, that's
it
great.
it's a great, this has been a great outreach. Not under the best circumstances, but people know that we're important and we're doing some good stuff. And so
Yes.
helping them to navigate this whole thing, it's what we're all about.
Oh, great, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good that people, a lot of people might find that you exist now.
Well, that's the thing. And they realize that we, are pretty vital to the older population. So
I
we're
mean-
hoping some younger ones too. So
Every community in Massachusetts has a senior center.
yes, I think there's only maybe one or two towns that do not have active senior centers, which is kind of interesting. But they're smaller, probably more.
Do they regionalize it then? You get out into western Mass, you got very small communities. It makes more sense to regionalize.
It would make more sense, and I've actually thought about that myself. I don't know if it would really work for us, but sometimes to collaborate with another town is not a bad way to utilize.
I've always said that regionalization works best for everybody.
Absolutely, you can spread the resources.
Right. And a good
it's-
example is Valley Tech.
Right.
But if you regionalize your police, your fire,
Mhm.
you get much more resources.
You do, and it
And-
might be more cost effective too.
Yeah, and with the mobility of today, that's not hard to do.
Right.
And even but the senior center, you could regionalize, still have satellites in each town.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But you put your resources together, you got more ability to get things in, get people to come in,
Definitely.
speakers, things like that.
Definitely. Yeah. So that's the other thing too. We did cultural council grants. We did get some, so we'll be able to offer some programs, which is great because a lot of these programs are pretty costly, and so we just don't have the budget for that. But to be able to have our local cultural council approve these is wonderful. And I know the library gets some, and the community center, and
Well, they didn't have the summer program last year.
no,
It was virtual, as far as I know.
yes,
And I don't know how. One of the groups, the Blackstone Valley Bluegrass Group,
oh, that's right. They came here to
they came here and recorded,
record. Yeah,
so they could put it on.
Right.
But I mean, virtual is not the same.
It's not. No, there's nothing
But
like being
because of the COVID,
live.
they couldn't do it. Now, I don't know if they're gonna be able to do it this year.
Right. I don't know. Some of the performers that we were scheduled to have last year that we had to postpone, they've honored them to be able to do that in this year. So, and we're hoping again, we can do things outside.
Yes.
And we've done concerts outside, and it works out pretty well. I don't know if our neighbors care for it, but it's during the day, so
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
not
come
like
on,
it's
it's
at
good
night.
music.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you got a good sized parking lot there.
we do. We do. And that's an item on in one of the warrants for the town
Oh,
meeting
to pave it?
to pave it.
Yeah, it
So,
does need some
It
work.
needs a lot of attention. Yeah, just it's a safety.
Yep.
Biggest safety thing. So
Would you do that under the DPW?
I would say that they would oversee that
Yeah.
project.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we just
mean,
hope it passes.
I think mostly I've never seen anything not pass because they put together well and the finance committee backs it up.
Mhm.
So the money's there.
I was gonna say, and it's not like they're asking for more. They've found a way to use the
Right,
money
they
that's
find the
there.
money somewhere and
Exactly.
we put it together. So, yeah, I mean, the town, like I said, the people that go to town meeting they are very generous about that. They
Mhm.
realize that someone went through a lot of work to put this together and
Right.
it's
Yeah.
feasible, it's doable, so why not?
Definitely. And especially if I'm going to be there for some time, it needs it, and
Yeah.
and we don't want to have anybody fall or have an
That's
accident.
more costly,
Yes, it is.
yeah. Especially if you get a lawsuit,
Yeah, we don't want that.
yeah, so I mean, it
I
makes
don't want
more,
anybody getting hurt. It's
repairing things has always been made more sense if you repair it when it's
Just maintain
first
it.
broken,
Mhm.
it's not gonna get better unless you do.
Right.
And we finally got a point, and Ted did put that together using the money from the solar,
Yes.
so,
To do that maintenance fund.
yeah. That's a good thing. It's already been utilized in a number of places in town.
Yep.
Because, we have a lot of older buildings,
We do,
including yours.
including mine.
But, that's like part of history there, that school.
It is. And that's why, again, going back to, not to repeat, but going back to why we changed the name
Yeah.
to Plummer Place. So
Yeah.
right now we're working on a new logo, and because we really want to start promoting it and getting people more used to having, hearing Plummer Place as our
Yep.
name. Because even when we answer the phone now, we're still saying Northbridge Senior Center. I don't know how we're going to transition over to Plummer
Well, it's a matter of
Place.
changing a habit, and that's hard to do.
It is, and it's
But, you want to get that name out there. In fact, it might encourage people to come down.
definitely
There's kind of a stigma to senior center.
there is. It's just for the old people.
Yeah. And the old people now don't feel like they're old people.
No, and then when they're 90, they're not old enough.
You're right. No. I got a birthday coming up in a month.
Okay,
So I'll be 73, but I feel like I'm 23.
because you're still active and you still
Yeah.
work and you
I don't want to
you don't
stop.
sit around.
No, I don't want to stop. I get bored sitting watching TV.
Right. And I've told people, especially people that have newly retired, don't stop because that's when you
If
hit
you can
depression and-
retire and you got a good retirement income, go get a job you like.
exactly
I mean,
keep
you
the
might have liked the
keep it
job
going.
you had, but get a job without pressure
Right.
where you don't have.
Fun.
Yeah, you can have fun doing. You're not under constant pressure. You're not worried about meeting any kind of goals or anything. You just
Right.
enjoy yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
I
you can
agree.
do that volunteering too.
Absolutely. Volunteer, get a little part-time job,
Yep.
get into hobbies that maybe you've always wanted to pursue and never
Yeah.
had the time to do. And that's what the senior center is all about. And that's one of the big things that Michelle and I try to focus on is we need to stay relevant. What do people want.
Yeah,
We're not just bingo anymore. We're
Right.
beyond bingo. But I'll never get rid of bingo. I've said that. I said that on our other show the other day. We will never eliminate bingo. So because there would be a hitman after me.
Do you have the big screen and all that?
No, we don't have that.
You
Just
know, I gave one away.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, well, a long time ago with the Legion, we had one.
Oh, you had one here.
We gave
Here.
up the bingo. I
Yeah.
forget who we gave it to. But
Was it Knights of Columbus? Do they have one?
we might have gave it to them
Yeah,
because we didn't, we had no longer any use for it.
right.
Our problem was, and I know what happened. I used to work the bingo. When they banned smoking inside, our smoking room was the main hall.
Mm-hmm.
The non-smoking was the where the bar was, where the members' room.
Oh,
There's hardly anyone in there.
right. Oh, yeah. They're all in the
And
same
when they
room.
banned it completely, we lost a lot of customers. They didn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
And we were costing, you don't do it to raise funds.
No.
But we did, and you have to give out so much prizes. We were giving out more
Then
than we
you're
were taking in.
Yeah. Yeah. Then that's not worth
Yeah.
it for you. Yeah.
But I'll tell you, when I worked, we used to sell the pull tickets, what do you
Oh,
call them?
right.
You couldn't see in front of you.
Oh, I bet.
It was
The smoke.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And we had a big vent right above here somewhere. It's covered up now.
Is it? Yeah.
But yeah, we had a huge vent to try to vent. In fact, I removed it from the roof.
Oh, okay.
You keep the heat in.
Yeah. Exactly.
But we had to do that just to keep we had smoke eaters and everything else.
Wow.
And you couldn't keep up with it.
No.
But, hey, they went to the casino.
They
could
did.
still
I was going to
smoke
say
there.
that's where they went, is to
Yeah,
down to the casinos. Yeah.
but in your case, I mean, they were like just fun bingo.
Oh yeah, it's just to pass the time.
Yeah.
We have a nice little group, and so we'll do that. We did that on the patio last summer, and we'll do that again
Yeah,
this year. So it's but again, we just want to bring programs and group activities that people are going to have fun, enjoy, and Michelle does a writing class and all kinds of different unique things, just to something for everybody.
yep.
So
Okay, we're running
Yeah.
low on time now.
we are, yeah.
I mentioned last night my guest was Peter DeCara tonight. I screwed up. I got mixed up with the days. We're getting in the spring and the days are running into each other for me.
Yeah,
Because we're going back to winter tonight.
we are. It's a little chilly
Oh.
out there, although
Yeah.
it was nice to be still light out when we got here.
But it was Kelly that was coming in tonight. She'll be back next month, the beginning of the month, first Thursday in the month. But Peter DeCaro will be here next week. And he's an interesting guy. It's just, his cannabis thing, there's a lot of good things about it.
There's a lot to learn.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people, don't inhale it, but you can take it in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
And they can be good things for your body.
Right.
I use the cream on my knees, and boy, it works
Does
great.
it work?
Yeah. We gotta
Yeah.
go.
Okay. Very good.
See you
Have a
Wednesday
great-
night.
Have a great Easter, everybody.
Yes, happy Easter.